What's good, y'all? Welcome back to HRT. I hope your week was splendid. This week we have a new guest. His name is Torryn. Torryn hit me up on Instagram a few weeks ago, and we started talking. And I realized that he's got some really cool outlooks and insights to what being trans is like for him that I haven't heard from other people in the past. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. Also, I noticed that a lot of you joined the Discord from last week's episode, which I greatly appreciate. Let me get a round of applause for you guys. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. If you haven't joined yet, you're clearly just transphobic, and just click the link in the description below. That's all you got to do. Also, you're homophobic if you haven't subscribed to my Patreon yet. So just do that. The link is also in the description below, and I would greatly appreciate it. Let's go talk to Torryn. Thanks, guys. Let me just start by asking you, where are you from, brother? Because I actually don't know.
I'm from Massachusetts. I've been here my whole life, which is a great state to be in if you're trans. Like,
Hell yeah.
it's so welcoming, it's so open, it's so accepting,
We
just
love that.
understanding.
We love that. Somebody
Yeah.
else was from Massachusetts. I always say Massachusetts because I can't say Massachusetts. It's kind of a problem. I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
24 years old. I think it Luke? It was somebody was also from there. But that's really dope. You've never had any problems with your state being transphobic towards you?
No, but it also makes me, see the other side for people down south.
Mm,
You know, so grateful to be up here, but I also want to help the people down south to be heard, to be seen. You know.
mm, for sure. Yeah, I think only you and one other person are uh, the only people that haven't been from the South. It's kind of ridiculous how many people live in the South, how many
Wow.
trans people.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I
So
can't imagine. We've had Texas, Florida, Alabama, and another one that I can't remember right now.
Florida, man, jeez, they're on some business right now.
They are, dude.
Yeah.
And fucking in my Discord server with everybody, I have at least fucking 10 people who live in Florida right now.
Mhm.
Not many of them have many complaints about it, though, I feel like. I think it also has to do with the fact that they started their transition a while or their medical transition a while ago before all the laws were put into place and stuff. So I
Oh, okay.
guess that makes sense. How about you though? When did you start tea?
I started tea a little over a year ago. So I'd say about a year and a half right now. I started testosterone, which wasn't too
So
bad to get on. It's actually my first appointment. I started tea basically.
really?
Yeah.
No
No
way.
questions asked. They were just kind of like, okay, yeah, for sure. And I was like, okay, awesome.
Sweet. Didn't know it was that
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. So I thought I had to go in there and get a psych eval, have some
hmm
sort of process where they have to approve you. But I'm 28 years old. I feel
Right.
like I have every right to decide what's best for my body.
True. True.
But I mean, for top surgery, I you need a referral from your primary and a letter
hmm
from your therapist. At least in
Right.
Massachusetts or where I'm going.
Right. Now, when you started testosterone for your state, literally you didn't eat anything? Did you need to see a therapist or anything beforehand?
Well, they have a certain department where I go to for my primary care. They have a transgender department. So, yeah,
A
it's
whole
pretty cool.
department?
Yeah, whole
Wow.
department.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, that's super awesome. And I mean, I kind of have to drive a little bit, but it's so worth it. Doesn't matter.
Why am I so stoked about just an apartment? Like that's the bare minimum. And I'm
I
like,
know.
yay.
Yeah, it's crazy. But every win is super awesome to experience.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Now, you started testosterone a year ago, you said?
A year and some change.
Some change.
Yeah.
Got you. I would assume you've been on testosterone for a long time, brother.
Yeah, I know. Well, what a year it's been. The first like 3 months, you really start to see like some changes, and then like you
Hmm.
get through like 6 months, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like what?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
It was 4 months for me where I was like, the voice dropped so fast. Like
Really?
in my voice video, I'm like, "Hi, this is my voice 3 months on T," and then 4 months rolls around. I'm like, I'm a man now."
Yeah, like puberty just like really hit.
Oh yeah, slap me right in the face.
Yeah.
Now, are you intramuscular or sub Q?
So I had to look this up, sadly, because I didn't know like what that meant at all. Um, so I first started doing shots in my leg,
Hmm.
and my girlfriend helps me out, which, you know, I have like a bunch of tattoos. Like I am not afraid of needles,
Hmm.
but taking this shot, I was like so nervous and like so anxious. It would take me like 5 to 10 minutes to actually take this shot. So I've gotten a lot better.
Hmm.
Shot anxiety is definitely like a real thing.
Oh yeah,
And I think
100%.
it stems off because like there's so much pressure behind it. Like there's so much meaning. So I like now it's like 5 seconds of like anxiety. And we switched to like my butt. So because I didn't want to see it.
Yeah, been there.
So yeah.
So I'm guessing you do intramuscular then,
Yeah.
if you were doing it in your leg. How's the pain with it? Does it hurt a little bit? Does it sting a good amount?
In the beginning, yeah.
Probably
Uh,
intramuscular then.
but now it only hurts if like she gets a nerve. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
dude, don't even get me started. I've hit blood vessels, nerves. It's not fun.
This one time, like I had to do it to myself, and I hit like something, and then as soon as I took the needle out, it's just like blood, and I started freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my god, what have I done?
Mm-hmm. It's
But
terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. And
yeah,
like, not to mention, like, and I've told that story about me bleeding everywhere multiple times in past episodes, but nobody tells you that. Nobody's like, hey, if this happens, you're fine. Nobody says a word about it ever.
yeah, no, I was not warned like at
Nope.
all.
Nope.
I mean, when I got my first shot, there was a nurse practitioner. She had to be there to teach us how to use the needle, like how to draw up the testosterone,
Mm-hmm.
like where to put like used needles, that kind of thing. But like, yeah, she never mentioned like if you bleed like like
Yep.
maybe like a $half size amount, it's normal. So I
Mm-hmm.
started freaking out when that happened. But
Yeah, I think the nurse practitioner, because obviously she helped me take my first shot in the doctor's office, and she
mm,
taught me how to just stick it in and push and draw it up. That's about it. That's about it. Like, nobody prepared me for all the other things that were going to happen. Clearly, either I wasn't listening or she sucked because I drew up with an 18 gauge needle the first time. So,
oh,
yeah, yeah, not fun. Everybody knows about that story, but it just goes to show, how little we know.
mm.
But you said you struggled with shot anxiety.
Oh yeah, in the beginning, totally. Like I said, it would take me like 5 to 10 minutes, just like trying to calm my heartbeat, like take deep breaths, like
Mm,
just not put so much pressure on my head mentally to be like, it's
yeah.
a very important shot, but like just get it over with, please.
Yeah, right. And you said you have somebody do it for you now. Is
My
that what
girlfriend,
helps?
yeah, she's a trooper.
Mm. I was having my sister help me out for a while too. I went through a weird period with it where I was like, I'm just not in the right headspace and I can't do it.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, shot anxiety is a real thing. And like, I don't know, I've asked a couple of people like what helps, but everyone's kind of just like, I don't know. It just either I do it or I don't. Like, have you ever thought about doing like different types of testosterone, like the gel or anything like that?
Yeah, I thought about like doing the gel, but I heard that's
Mm,
like really expensive. Which
to do that too.
I have insurance, but my insurance is so expensive in general too. Like I feel like everything in Massachusetts is like so expensive.
Yeah, New York too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I crossed the border to like New York for like a Mexican restaurant. I was out in like Western Mass and like the taxes were insane. I was like, how do people live in this state?
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Don't even get me started, bro.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. It's rough out here. But honestly, it's rough like everywhere. So
Yeah. Just trying to exist at this point.
honestly, you know, how can I do you get your testosterone through like a endocrinologist or anything like that? Or do you
Uh,
use something else?
well, it's just like through my primary
Through your
because, like I
primary?
said, we have a
Right.
transgender department. So they
Oh
handle
yeah.
most of my stuff. Um,
Nice. That's dope.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to an endocrinologist for the first 4 to 5 years I was on testosterone. I was paying $100 every month for testosterone. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, it's not that much better now. I'm using Folks now,
Mm.
but definitely cheaper than what I was doing prior because I didn't have insurance or anything.
It's pretty crazy though, because like, you know, it sounds dramatic, but it's not. Because like testosterone honestly is saving so many people's lives. Like it saved my life.
Hmm.
Like, you know, and it's kind of, I'm not gonna try to relate it to diabetes, but like insulin, like I think it's ridiculous how diabetics have to pay for insulin. Like it's not their fault, like at all. But
Yep. And it all comes back around to people thinking that it's a choice, and that's why it costs so much money
yeah,
because we choose to inject it. Maybe on like a very very baseline level, sure, but like I don't know. It's like you said, it's life saving medicine, and the fact that I need to pay $100 a month to just to be who I want to be,
yeah,
little transphobic, if you ask me.
yeah. It's. I mean, come on. Like,
Come on, it's 2023.
yeah. Let's
Like, how many
let's get with the
times do I have to
program
say
here.
it? But you said you got top surgery?
No, actually, I do. I don't have top surgery. I have a consultation in April. Um,
Hell
so
yeah.
that's fun.
Congratulations. That's fun.
Thank you so much. That was a process.
Now, where? Is it close to you? The place you want to go for it?
I don't know, like a little over an hour, maybe.
Nice. I'm on
Hmm.
Long Island. I had to drive to the city, so it was like an hour or 45-minute drive. It was an awful drive back, but can't complain too much because it was
Yeah.
not bad, not bad. You said you have a consultation in April for top
Yep.
surgery?
Hmm.
That's fun. Do you know like the exact procedure and everything that you want, like double
Uh,
incision?
I think it depends on like my BMI and what they feel is best. I would
Mm-hmm.
preferably like I think it's called the keyhole,
Yeah, that's what
where
I
it's
got.
like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because
Keel's dope.
I really don't want like the scars. My personal opinion, I just don't want the scars.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't either. I I got top surgery at a pretty young age. I was 19. And I was the same. For some reason, I just didn't want the scars. Not that I like think that the scars look bad or anything. I just personally didn't want them. And I remember I followed this kid on Instagram. His name is Justin Blake, and he got keyhole. And I looked at his chest, and I was like, "Yes, that is the chest that I want. Give me that one. I will take it."
Yeah, I think it's more or less because like, I just kind of want people to see me for me and
Hmm.
not like if I go to the beach, I just don't want any more attention
Right.
than I have to have.
Hmm. A little advice for keyhole is do push-ups after. Do push-ups because I was doing push-ups and then I stopped. And now, hey, my chest looks great. I'm still very proud of it, but it's not exactly where I want it to be. And the
Yeah.
fact that I did spend a lot of money and now I still don't want to take off my shirt at the beach sucks ass. So do push-ups.
I work out a lot now, so yeah,
That's
I'll
good.
keep up with it though.
Yeah, see, my lazy ass can't find me doing no more push-ups.
Well, because I hear like all these like trans guys, like, that's like the number one recommendation is like, chest exercises. So ever since that, I just started doing chest exercises.
Yeah, can't find me doing that. Do you find that fitness helps you a lot in your transition though?
Oh yeah, and it's
That's
pretty
cool.
crazy like what testosterone does to your body. Because I was pretty into fitness prior
Hmm.
to tea, and then when I got on testosterone, it was like muscle mass was so much easier. Like I didn't
Mm,
really even have to try to like work out.
yeah, that's facts. I worked
Yeah.
at like a manual labor job, and I was never ever into fitness prior to my transition. Like, never. Wasn't even a thought that ever really crossed my mind. I was like skin and bone before I started testosterone. I was very skinny, and I was working that manual labor job, and I just looked in the mirror one day. It was just picking up boxes and shit all day, but like I just looked in the mirror one day, and I was like, "Yo, I'm kind of swole. What the fuck? Like, how the hell?"
Yeah. Well, because I used to get so mad at like my friends, like my guy friends, because like I'd be
Mhm.
like busting my ass in the gym, and
Yeah.
then they would do like half the set that I would do, and they'd just be like, you start to see like the definition marks, and I'd be like, what is this? This is
Right.
trash.
I know. You
Yeah.
don't have to try as hard on T. I've definitely noticed that, and I still don't work out. Like, I know to have my chest be where I want it to be. All I would have to do is do like 10 push-ups a day, and I'd be fine. But I still don't. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah.
That's cool though. I don't think I've had many guys on who are into fitness, except for Aiden Dowling, who I had on.
Mhm.
He gave us some advice on um, being a fitness guy. But do you have any? Because I could use the help, to be honest.
On not really. I mean, because I'm not like a professional. I kind of just work out. We have a gym in like my parents' basement, so I just
Mhm.
come here and work out whenever I'm free. But you know, I have two dogs, and that alone is a lot. So
Mm.
if
Hmm.
you're struggling, just get a dog.
There you
That
go. Yeah.
forces you to like go outside and move.
That's actually pretty good advice. I can't
Yeah.
lie. I was going on some pretty intense walks for a bit, just getting my walk on, and then I stopped
Hmm.
that too. So, um, but yeah, that's cool. Let me know more about your coming out story. How did you come out? When did you come out?
Oh boy. So like I tell people this and I don't think they truly believe me, but I know for a fact. I knew that like I was different at a very young age. Like honestly 3 or 4. There's a core memory of like I was like playing with my dad and he was like tickling me and he was like, "Oh, ticklish little girl," and I corrected him. I was like, "No, Dad, like ticklish little boy." And yeah, yeah,
Why is
and
that so
like
wholesome?
being like such a great dad that he is, he just started saying that, like, "Okay, ticklish little boy," and then nothing really came out of it. And growing up, I always wanted to be like my dad and my brother.
Hmm.
Like
Right.
everything they did, I always wanted to do.
Hmm.
And I went to private school, like a Catholic private school,
Okay.
which is fun because you have to wear uniforms.
Mm.
So, like, I
Hmm.
always felt so uncomfortable wearing that uniform.
How bad were the uniforms? Was it like skirts and shit?
Oh, yeah. It was like the
Oh,
plaid skirts with like
oh,
this button tie.
terrible.
It,
I hate
oh,
that. Why
yeah.
is that
Like
even a
every,
thing? Even for cis women. Like, cis women wear pants, you know? Like, what the fuck? I never understood that.
like year round, too. Like, Massachusetts gets pretty cold and we had to wear those at like, you know, 5, 6,
What
freezing
the
my
fuck?
like ass off as a child.
That's terrible. So sorry.
Yeah.
Child abuse.
Well, like the boys are like wearing the pants and like, a
Right.
jacket, and I was like, word, this is great. So, anyways, um, I was always like, I always hated the term tomboy. I didn't like that label either. I
Me
never
too.
vibed with it at all. I found it a little more insulting.
Hmm.
But I was a little more boyish. I played sports growing up. I always did like what the boys were doing, and every time I had to dress up or go to like a formal event was like super like scary. Like I never
Uncomfortable.
went to prom growing up in high school. I didn't
Mm.
do any of like the high school events because a lot of it was just like I don't want to wear a dress. I don't want to.
Mm.
be someone I'm not. Like I refuse to. Like
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it. And
Wow.
like I felt super uncomfortable like before transitioning, like being seen as a female and then wearing like a suit and tie. I didn't like that either.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
that's why I
get
never
that.
really went to prom, or I always felt held back in a way just because I was struggling with my identity inside.
Mm.
And I really didn't know that I was, I don't know, I guess trans. Like I knew I was different,
Mm-hmm.
and I never thought this was really truly possible. So, um, at the age of 26, I'm 28 now, like I said, I just broke. I had like a mental breakdown in like midday at work. I had to leave. I went up to my boss. I said, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to check into a hospital. I need to find some sort of help because I was
Mm-hmm.
at my wit's end. Like, I felt like I was just living a life that was so unfulfilling, so
Mm.
dark, so suppressing, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And when I was in the hospital, the amount of like openness that I got from my family, like telling them, like, this is who I am, this is the life that I want to live. I want to
Mm.
transition. I've always been a male inside.
Mm.
Like, it's not that I want to be a boy. I am a boy, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so frustrating to be like held back for so many years and felt like I kind of lost a good amount of my childhood feeling suppressed and
Mm-hmm.
not being able to come out, even though like nobody told me to like hide my feelings or anything. I just never really openly felt like I could talk about it because
Mm.
growing up in like early 2000s, it was kind of like a little uncommon. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know any trans guys really at all growing up. Like no one in my
Yeah.
family's trans at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first
Me
one to
either.
come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like, but once you come out, it's like the most beautiful, euphoric thing. And, every day prior to coming out, I would look in the mirror and I would just be so upset with who I was. Like I was fitting a mold that just didn't fit me, like at all.
Mm. That's a really good way to put it, bro.
Yeah. And the more and more I look in the mirror now, the more you just like, the more I fall in love with myself, which is so beautiful.
That is beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how long did you know you were trans before you came out? Like you said, you had a mental breakdown one day at work. Did you know you were having a mental breakdown because you knew you were trans and hadn't come out yet? Or were you just like, what the fuck is going on? And then realized you were trans?
Well, I feel like a lot of my mental health was because I was trans, like anxiety, depression, because I was living a life that wasn't meant for me. Like,
Right. Did you
and
know why though? Because like for me, I had no idea why I was so sad all the time until somebody shook me and was like, "You're trans, bro." Like that's why.
no, well, for all those years, no. But what honestly helped me a lot was my girlfriend.
Hmm.
I've known her since I was 13, and we
Oh.
dated a little bit. Well, not a little bit. We dated for like 6 years, I want to say, maybe a little bit longer. She's gonna get mad at
Mhm.
me when she watches this. And then we broke up when we were like 18,
Mhm.
and I dated someone for like 5 years, 5, 6 years. And that relationship didn't really help me at all. That kind of put me backwards. And then when we broke up, my girlfriend now came
Mm.
back into my life, and there's just something about her that like it takes one person to really help you figure yourself out.
Yup.
And she really helped me, gave me the confidence to be like, okay, so this is who I am. This
Mhm.
is what I want to do.
I relate hard to that. That's exactly how I started realizing myself too. Was from my girlfriend at the time. I mean, we're no longer together, but like it is still something that I'm like, okay, we didn't work out and like whatever, but that is still something where I'm like, thank you for that though, you know. I mean, I know that I would have figured it out myself later down the line, but I'm still glad it happened the way it did, and I feel like that's a common theme for trans guys. Usually, typically, the girlfriend that shakes them, and then they're like, "Hey, bud, um, are you a boy?" Usually, how it goes. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Sorry, I got a little wheeze going on. If anybody can hear it, my bad. And you were saying a lot about your family being supportive throughout all of it. Has that remained true?
Yeah, definitely. Growing up, I really didn't have a super awesome relationship with my mom, and that
Mm,
always kind of like frustrated me because she wanted, a daughter, and she wanted to do like mother-daughter stuff, and I couldn't do it. And she probably thought I was like such a difficult kid growing up. And like I don't resent my mom at all for like how she
mhm,
treated me as a kid, like being so frustrated with my behavior, or what this, that, the other thing.
mhm,
But when I came out, she was so amazed and like so supportive, and she felt somewhat, I think, awful because, from a parent's view, figuring out and finding out that your kid was suffering for so long probably would break any parent, especially a mother's. Like,
mhm, mhm.
to look at your child and be like, oh my gosh, all these years feeling that way, but also very proud to be like, oh, well, like at
Right.
least you got there and you're able to come out and I love you regardless.
That's actually really interesting because I bet you that's also where a lot of transphobia comes from
Mm,
with parents. Because not that my mom was really transphobic ever, but like I remember when I came out, I did feel like there was a part of her that blamed herself in a way. Because I
mm,
feel like when you're a mother or a father, like whenever your kid is in pain, you probably blame yourself a little bit no matter what. And I just remember my mom being like, not that she had anything to do with my gender when I was born, because that's not possible, but like I just remember her being like, "Sorry, I didn't make you a boy," and I'm like, "No, like it's not your fault," but like I don't know. And people, I guess, who can't communicate their feelings properly, definitely, I would assume, let that out in a transphobic way towards their children. I would assume.
mm.
So that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Um, do you think, because you said you had a rough relationship with your mom prior to being trans?
Yeah, we really butt heads a lot. We never really vibed, and now we get along pretty well. It's quite wild.
That's cool. Do you think it had to do with your transition?
Yeah, I think a good portion of it. I was My family's not really open with each other. Like we're the
Neither is
type of
mine.
family like, you know, we love each other, but we don't say I love you a lot.
Hmm.
That kind of vibe. Like you leave the house and it's like see you later, bye, but like you know that you love each other.
It's my dad's side of the family to a T.
Yeah, it's on both sides. Like it's so I get it from both ends. Like it's just like peace. I'll be
Mm,
back later for like dinner or whatever to hang out. But
mm,
after me coming out, I started to become well. You coming out is like one of the most vulnerable things you can do,
mm.
and it's one of the most vulnerable things that people get to witness. And I think that
Right.
kind of started, the fire of just like being open and vulnerable with each other and better communication and
Mm,
a look of like acceptance and love regardless.
true. I relate to that. I mean, I think that people who are my parents' age, in their early 60s, I guess, aren't very good at communicating in general, like at all. That whole generation's just not very good at it, not their thing. Um, so I think that's also what made it so hard when I was coming out was like, because I didn't understand how to communicate that because I was never really taught that. Sorry, mom, but like it's true.
Mhm.
So like I definitely struggled. I remember standing in my mom's room trying to tell her I was trans, and I couldn't. I was like, Mom, would you still love me if I was a worm? Would you still love me if I was a fish? Would you still love me if I was this? And then finally, he's like, would you still love me if I was a boy? And she was like, So that's how I came out to my mom because
Oh
I
wow.
couldn't figure it out. I didn't know how else to do it.
See, like I mean, I didn't even flat out come out to my mom. Like I came out to my dad, and then he kind of like told the rest of the family.
Mm,
Because I was the closest with my dad, and
that's cool.
yeah, I like when I was at work. Like, well, so I came out twice, if that makes any
Mm,
sense. The first time I came out was to my dad, and then he told the rest of the family, and then after I came out, like nothing really changed. Like
mm,
they just kind of
mm-hmm.
like had an idea now that I was uncomfortable in my body,
Right.
but like the pronouns were still the same, and I was getting frustrated, and that's what kind of caused the mental breakdown.
Okay.
Yeah, so the
Gotcha.
first time I came out, I was at work, and I asked my dad if I could talk to him later that evening, and I sat on the couch. He sat like on the couch adjacent from me, and I really don't remember exactly what I said, but like I was just like, you know, I don't feel comfortable in this body. I would like to transition into like a male. And like my dad is like blue collar, like super white, like but like the sweetest guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he really didn't know how to navigate that conversation, but he was just like, okay, like, he was more just listening and trying to like digest what's
Mm-hmm.
going on.
Right.
But like I never got any hate, like nothing really negative
That's
from my
awesome.
parents.
That's cool. My mom definitely wasn't hateful in the slightest. I think she messed up with her words a little bit sometimes because she didn't know how to navigate it herself. Um, and like by accident, she hurt my feelings, but she never meant to. My dad, on the other hand, he obviously didn't mean to hurt my feelings, but my dad just does not have a way with words. And I think the way I told him, he was teaching me how to drive at the time. So I got in the car, I got in the driver's seat of his car, and I'm driving down my road. And I'm like, and I only came out to my dad. The only reason I came out to my dad was because I was about to start testosterone because I just turned 18. And I was like, I have to tell him because I'm going to turn into a man. And he's going to be like, what the fuck? Why do you have a beard now? So I knew that I had to tell him. So I was like, so I'm starting gender therapy because I'm trans. And obviously I had my eyes on the road, but I heard him go, oh God. And I was like, rude.
Wow.
So that was my reaction from my dad. Luckily, he came around, but yeah, not fun.
Yeah, what a reaction. That's like an instant like, oh no,
hmm
here we go.
Oh no, the road we're about to go down.
Yeah,
Like,
literally
please.
buckle up. Like,
hmm Dead ass. I'm
yeah.
sorry I'm inconveniencing you, sir.
Yes.
Jesus. Ugh.
But I mean, like the rest of my family's really accepting and open to. I have to give credit where credit is due. Um, my uncle isn't trans, but he was the first person in my family on basically both sides to come out as gay, and he kind of paved the
Nice.
way to give me more confidence to come out because he got a really positive reaction from my
That's
family.
cool. Yeah, I
So,
mean, those two things definitely go hand in hand a little bit. Like, if you know, most of the time, I'd say 80% of the time, if somebody is accepting of somebody who is gay, they're most likely accepting of someone who is trans. So that would also make me feel better too. I get that.
which is like pretty wild to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just we have to come out.
Mm, mm-hmm.
That's a
Hmm.
whole nother topic.
Yeah, you said before you came out twice. If that makes sense, and I was like, oh, that 100% makes sense because trans people have to come out almost every day of their lives
Oh yeah.
in many senses. Like I said it in past episodes, but like that's the difference between obviously the difference is gender and sexuality, but the difference between being gay and being trans is usually when you're gay or lesbian, you come out once and that's about it. Everybody knows. But like for trans people, you got to come out at work. You got to come out to the family. You got to come out to the friends. Every new place you go,
Oh yeah.
you don't have to come out because obviously being stealth is a thing. But like you know what I mean.
Well, it's kind of hard when like people like mess up your pronouns and in
Exactly.
front of new people, especially at
Right.
work. That's
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Especially yeah, if you haven't medically transitioned yet too, like you have to. Otherwise, you know, I don't know.
I had to come out at work, and I work in a dealership, and that's a lot of people.
Mm. Did you work there pre-transition as
Oh
well?
yeah.
Medical transition? Wow. Wow. How did that go?
Oh, that was an experience. I sat down with my boss. I told him over the phone because I had to go on medical leave because I just needed a leave of absence
Mhm.
because, being trans is mentally exhausting in the beginning, especially.
Mhm.
Um, so when I came back to work, I used to have really long hair, like, and I'm half Mexican, so I had thick, long hair at the time. And when I came back to work, I had it cut, and that alone is pretty
Mhm.
pretty anxiety ridden because
Mhm.
now you left one way, coming back looking another, and trying to present and tell people like, this is who I am. Don't call me this. Don't say that. In a shop, like
Mhm.
it's a bunch of automotive technicians, mechanics,
Typically people who don't understand what being trans is, I'm guessing.
really like blue collar masculine men.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but you know, so far in front of me, like nobody has been toxic or negative. There have been like, mess ups with the pronouns and stuff, but I'm a really like down to earth guy. Like I'm easygoing, like, and I have a like, great way of like going about things because I just have a great sense of humor. So I
Mhm.
try to find like the humor in everything.
Mhm.
It's just so I
Make
can
a joke out
digest
of
it.
it. Right. We cope with humor. That's what we do.
Yeah, it's the best way for me. So, but that's a lot of pressure because
Mhm.
it's a lot of people and I
Right.
have to do it not once, not twice, like 20, 30 times. And they had like a meeting about it, which made me feel even more awkward because they were
Whole meeting about you being trans.
like, yeah, like just to
Mm.
kind of tell people what's going on.
Were you there for this meeting?
No, thank God.
I
Because I
was
would have
about to
just been like,
say
I would have been like, I can't do that. No, thank you.
that would be
Like,
awful, bro.
no,
Oh my god.
that's way too much pressure. And like, I don't want the spotlight
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
I just don't want any sort of. I just want to just be seen as me. Like,
Mhm. Right.
that's it.
Yeah. Wow. I can't imagine working somewhere pre-transition or pre-trans and then like transitioning through cuz like when I started working in my job that I had like I was maybe 2 months on testosterone when I started working there and like obviously not many changes happened then so
Mhm.
I was 18, 17, and I'd worked there for 5 years, so they saw me go through all of the motions, but nobody knew I was trans. I think they all just thought went through puberty at 18 years old. Like dead ass. I'm not even kidding.
This one's a late bloomer.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that's literally what they thought, which is like pretty embarrassing, but whatever. I remember I had a coworker. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever told this story. I had a coworker who I worked at a liquor store, so we were in the basement surrounded by boxes and shit, and we're not working, not doing what we were supposed to be doing. We're just talking, and he goes, you look like one of those people that could be, oh, what are they called? What are they called? Transsexual? You look like you could be one of those. And I was like, um fuck. And I straight up was like, nah, could be me. I just wasn't ready to come out at work, and I was like, don't. What's that? I've never heard of that
Yeah.
before.
Just play dumb and just end this conversation.
Yep. And then he said it again like months later, and I was like, dude, like I actually have friends who are trans, and you're being really disrespectful. So stop. And that's where that ended. But I always thought that was really funny.
What do you
Ruined
call
me as a
them?
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
ruined me as a person at the time. But yeah, dude, I can't imagine coming out at work through all of the motions. Good on you for that. That takes balls.
And some customers too, like because we had like
Mm,
customers that come back and they do a double take and they go,
right.
huh? And I'm like, just carry on your day. I don't want to have this conversation right now. We're not that close.
keep keep walking, buddy. Keep
Yeah,
walking.
smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave. Yeah, that's wild. And customers who like think they have a fucking place to say something. God, nothing
I
grinds my
luckily
gears
have
more.
not encountered one that has given
Mm,
me any sort of, I don't know,
that's good.
negativity.
That's good. Do you find that people at work now treat you differently now that you are passing so well as a cis male and whatnot? Do you think you get treated differently now?
Um, Not so much at work. I wouldn't know.
Okay, that's good.
Um, I think it's just because like no one new has started working there, so like
Got you.
they
Got
kind
you.
of just they've seen. I call myself like a Pokemon, like the best way to describe it, because I'm evolving. Um, they
Mm-hmm.
kind of just see me evolve,
Right.
um,
That's
which
cool.
is like I guess in a way kind of positive. They don't treat me any differently than they did,
Mm, right.
so I guess that's a positive thing to look at.
Have you gotten any like uncomfortable questions throughout as they see you, change physically?
No, because I
Wow,
think
okay.
they'd just be like, we're at work. That's probably an HR moment if they did.
True. I didn't
So
know
they're
that. That's true.
looking out for
I'm like, damn,
themselves.
I want to go work at this company. Fuck, like, that's pretty cool. No one's giving you a problem. It's not a lot of people. Because I feel like, who was it? I think it was Luke. Luke struggled at work a little bit. One of my past guests at work,
Mhm.
with some transphobic bosses and stuff. And I can't imagine that. But also, like, Luke and I were also talking about this. Just quit. Find a new job because nothing is worth going through that. And obviously, I understand people need money, but like, go on Indeed, find a new job, and then quit because there is no job is worth that, in my humble opinion.
No, I fully agree. The I kind of struggle with this a little bit because I really need health insurance,
Right? Yeah. No, I don't blame
and
you.
I through the company I have like really great health insurance, but it's just really expensive. Like
Hmm.
I can go basically anywhere I want and they'll accept my insurance, but at the same time, like I really don't want to feel stuck at this job because of insurance. And this is a
Right.
job that I don't want to do the rest of my life either. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to like actively segue into like more of like the LGBTQIA plus community because I really
Hmm.
want to, go out there and help people in our community.
That's really cool. Do you have ways that you want to do that? Because for me, I knew that I wanted to do that, but I could never figure out how. I knew I
Mhm.
wanted to help the trans community or be a face for the trans community or a voice for the trans community in some way, shape, or form. But I literally was like, how? How do I do that?
Well, that's why you have the podcast, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
100%.
Like, because I was thinking about starting my own podcast too, but not really specifically for like this community. I just kind of wanted a podcast in general about life experiences. Um,
That's cool.
because I feel like so many people have a lot to say in the world that are muted because of society.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
100%.
this new wave that I'm feeling of how I want to start like more involvement in the community is just recent. Like last month, I just kind of had like this awakening of like, like what am I doing with my life? I only have one life, and I want it to be like fulfilling. And this job is not fulfilling. Like it's not a terrible job, but it's not a job that I want. And I know so many people probably feel the same way. But
Mm-hmm.
like I'm actively trying to find outlets in our community in Massachusetts to help in any sort of way that I can. Like, I signed up for the human rights campaign, um, which if you
That's
don't
dope.
know that, you should totally check it out. It's super awesome.
For sure.
Um, and when I was going through my mental health struggle, I found this online intensive care because nobody would take me. I was doing so many phone calls every day so I can get admitted for mental health. And it was like I either had to be admitted to the hospital or I had like an addiction problem, and I didn't want either. Like I just
Mm,
actively wanted to go to a facility to just kind of help me.
right.
And like I
Well,
couldn't find it like
yeah,
at
it should
all.
not
And
be
I
hard
was
to find.
no, which I was really surprised because Massachusetts I thought was like all about mental health and all
Mm-hmm.
that. But anyways, I found this company online called Charlie Health. Um, it's all online intensive therapy, which sounds kind of weird, but it's really awesome because it's a bunch of people across the country that go to this website and you have different sessions with different people, like different types of therapy. Like they can do music therapy, art therapy, all online. And
Wow.
yeah. So if anybody's struggling with mental health, I highly, highly recommend Charlie Health. Um,
Charlie Health. I'll
yep,
write
they
that
were out
down.
of my network for health insurance, but I really fought for them, and insurance finally approved it, and it was one of the greatest things that I could have done. And
Wow.
I'm in their alumni program too. They do that for free. You don't have to pay for anything.
Wow.
Yep.
For like any therapy? Wow.
In the beginning, insurance covers it, so
Mm,
uh,
that's pretty cool. I've never
yeah.
heard of that before.
And
Weird.
they
Well,
really advocated for me too when insurance was fighting me, which I absolutely hate insurance.
hmm,
Like,
big struggle for trans
who
people
are
in
they
general.
to decide what you need?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
100%. I'll definitely put that link in the description below, though, if you want. That's pretty
yeah,
dope.
for sure. Check it out.
100%.
Use code
Um,
Torryn Taylor. No, just kidding. Not
Ooh, I was
sponsored.
gonna say, damn.
No.
That's funny. Yeah, I'll definitely put the link in the description below. That's really cool. I've never heard of that before.
Mhm.
Um, Now, but I wanted to ask, when you were going through all that, when you just really needed something to help you, I just want to make sure I'm getting the timeline right in my head. Was this uh when you knew you were trans and like you
Yes.
needed help with that? Now, were you struggling with your gender dysphoria a lot and didn't know how to cope with that? Did that play a part?
I think in a way, yeah. Um, but like I said prior to coming out, I really struggled with depression, anxiety, probably OCD,
Mm.
maybe ADHD, but
All the fun things.
all yeah, just like a bowl of happiness. Uh, and now adding like dysphoria. to that. I always struggled with body issues
Mm-hmm.
growing up. So the trigger warning, anorexia. I was anorexic in high school because I just didn't like my body having curves at all.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, it was just a lot to to deal with mentally, and I had a stressful job
Mm-hmm.
also. So on top of that, and being in like your 20s is just like,
God awful.
yeah, it's so difficult. Like just trying to figure things out, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just one person. I can't do it all by myself. So
Dude, the pressure that people that society puts on people in their early 20s is disgusting. I could talk about that forever. I fucking hate it.
oh yeah, society sucks. Like
It's awful. But I also wanted to ask before we get more into that is it like easier for you to decipher what like your dysphoria is now or what it was like because I always had gender dysphoria. I feel like a little bit of it at least, but I didn't know what it was until I was trans, and then I could cope with it better. Do you relate to that at all?
I think I did in the beginning, because now I don't really have curves. I,
Right.
yeah, I'm more muscular. I am obviously presenting more masculine,
Mm-hmm.
and before, every time I looked in the mirror, I would like stare at myself in the mirror for like 30 minutes, just picking my body apart and just trying to be like what is this? Like why am I so unhappy? Like why? Like
Yeah.
but
Jesus.
like the more you stay on hormones, the more you like transition. Like in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning it was like, is this ever gonna like work? Like why is
Right.
this taking forever? And it was like I was just so frustrated. It was like maybe like 2 months in, and I was like, why do I look like this still?
Why is testosterone not working for me?
Yeah, like why? But after a year and a couple months, I really don't struggle as much. I still, I mean, I haven't had top surgery yet, so that's a struggle.
Mm,
But I don't look at the mirror in such a negative light anymore. It's more positive. I'm more happy.
awesome. That
Yeah.
makes me very happy. Good. Do you think that um, most of your dysphoria comes from not having top surgery yet?
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Do you think once you get it, you won't have this dysphoria anymore?
no, I think I'll still have some dysphoria uh, until like I have bottom surgery, because
Because a
that's
lot
I'm
of
looking towards
people.
that.
Oh, you are nice.
Mhm.
That's cool. Not many people have talked about that on the podcast yet, and it's something obviously I'm not going to ask 'cause it feels a little private to ask, but I think um I don't know. I think a lot of people have come on and said that after they've gotten top surgery, their dysphoria has gone away. And for me, I don't know, actually. I think maybe if I had to put a number on it, I'd say 75% of my dysphoria went away after top surgery.
Mhm.
And it's not even all about bottom surgery either. I think a lot more good. I think somebody looking into what trans is and all the surgeries that go into it, I think people think of those two things that just give dysphoria, and not a lot of people remember that so many other things play a part in dysphoria because there's social dysphoria, and I think that's where I've struggled the most. Do you relate to that?
So yeah, social dysphoria for sure. I'm a short dude. I'm like maybe five
Me too.
three on a good day.
On a good day. Short Kings Unite.
Yeah. So that kind of always frustrates me because I'm trans. I just want to be seen as a male, and then like it's being called short constantly is like I'm aware I'm short. I didn't forget, buddy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I grow,
Yep.
and this is what I have.
Hmm.
So I'm so sorry. I would grow more
Yeah.
if I could. Like I'd be happy with like 5'6".
Yeah, I get that. Everybody's got their thing. For me, it was my voice for a long time, and it
Oh
still
yeah.
is. Still is. Even when I get excited, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Shut up, bitch. I hate it.
Yeah, like before we started recording, I tried testing out my microphone and I was like, "What is that?" Like I was like, "Oh no." Like uh
No, you sound great, bro, but I get it. I get it. It's so hard to listen to your own voice. Oh, and I got to do it every week. It's awful.
yes. I was like, I have to sound like deeper. Like I sound like helium. Like I just like took a shot of helium. It's like, oh.
But that goes to show that it's all in our heads, though, because that's so untrue. Like your voice is deep as fuck, and so is mine. So is mine. Like, and I'm still sitting over here thinking I'm talking all the way up here.
Nah, like I think your voice is dope. Like
Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah.
Now, how do you have specific things you do to cope with gender dysphoria at all, or are you just raw dog in life?
I think no, not to be honest, not really. I have my moment of like, damn, and I go, huh. Like I just kind of get over it, you know? Like
Damn, that sucks. Anyways.
yeah, like what am I gonna do? Like I'm still like in the beginning of transition, so I have a lot to look forward to. So I guess that's why I kind of like damn, I feel like shit right now. And I go like, well, it's gonna get better. So wait.
Wait, I guess is the answer.
Yeah, but there's so many blessings that like I try to be really positive because
Hmm.
again, I always thought this couldn't even happen. I always thought it was kind of like a dream.
Hmm.
I never thought I could be a male that I always
Hmm.
wanted and I
Yeah.
always was. So every day I get up and I look at myself in the mirror is like a real honest win. And every time I take that shot, even though it's like 5 seconds of anxiety after, I go like, well, it's one day closer to being who I always am.
Mm, I like that. That's
So
cool. Now, I should have asked this a little bit earlier when we were talking about testosterone, but do you just taking your shot, like, do you notice a change in your mood when you take it or no?
Uh, like the day of
Yeah, or just do you take it weekly or bi-weekly?
weekly, so every Sunday morning.
Okay. Do you like when you take it that day, are you like, ah, or are you like more angry?
I would say in the beginning, I've kind of really leveled out now.
Mm.
I'm still pretty hungry on
Dude,
Sundays. Just in
that
the
doesn't
beginning, though,
stop.
it was like a roller coaster of emotions. Like I'd be really tired, and then I'd be kind of like a little bitch. Like I couldn't be satisfied, to be honest. I'd just be like, just in a mood. Just, like my poor girlfriend. Like
That got me. Just a little bitch. I couldn't be satisfied.
yeah, because like I would want something and then I'd get it and then I just wouldn't want it anymore. I'd just be like, ah.
No,
Like
that's literally me too, T.
yeah, it's just. But now I'm a lot better. Like now I'm just kind of just hungry on Sundays, just really hungry.
Dude, I've been talking about this a lot recently. I'm fucking starving all the time. Like all the time.
Yeah.
And like I'm making myself sick because of it. And it's like kind of new and I'm pretty sure, 90% sure it has everything to do with my shot, taking my testosterone because I've been kind of irregular with my shots recently. Everybody knows that I never take my shot on time. It's kind of bad. I'm a bad trans boy, but um, but I have been so fucking hungry to the point where I'm full and I'm like, no, I need to keep eating. I have to keep eating. I'm starving, but it hurts. And I just can't stop.
I has like your appetite, like what you used to like never crave, like do you crave it now? Has that changed? Like
Yes. Yeah. 100%. I'd be craving pickles a lot of time. I hated pickles.
Yeah.
Like
I
hated pickles.
I used to hate like desserts, like
Mm,
cake, like donuts, like that. And like yesterday, I had like the little mini donuts. Not they're not called Munchkins, but like they're just little tiny donuts. I don't know what they're
mhm.
called, but you get them from like the vending machines. I had one of those, and then I had like another donut. I was like, what is this? Like so much sugar. Like I'm gonna feel like ass. And I felt fine. I was like, all right, word. But
Dude, I could eat the weirdest combination of shit. I had this is disgusting, but I had pickles, donuts, Doritos, fucking graham crackers the other
yeah,
day. And
anything.
I was fine. I have a tummy of steel, bro. Like anything.
Like yesterday, no, the day before, I put down like maybe 40 bagel bites. I was like, this is disgusting. I was like, you're disgusting. Where's this coming? And I was like not full either. I stopped myself. I was like, stomach, absolutely not.
We're done for the day. Timeout.
Yeah,
You're being put in timeout.
get out of here.
Dude, it's also like ah, it's bittersweet because I love eating. It's impossible for me to feel pain when I'm shoving something down my throat. Like it's impossible to feel pain. But then I gain weight and then I'm like, okay, this sucks.
I gained a lot of weight in the beginning. Like I put
Me
on
too.
some pounds and I was like, what? And then I got really sick. I had like an infection in my chest and I lost like 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
Oh Jesus,
And
bro.
yeah, that's a whole fucking story for another day. I
Damn.
was so pissed off, but anyways, so I kind of just like mellowed out. I'm just
Mm,
at like 126 solidly.
mm. Nice. I stopped working out and I started eating a lot more and I can't stop. So that's where I'm at.
Nah,
I'm
man, it
just
is what it
getting
is.
fat and happy and I don't care.
No, like it's to the point where like when I was eating like my like 20th bagel bite, I was like, I'm just gonna keep going. I can't. I've come this far. Like whatever. Like,
I've come this far. Why stop now?
and then I was like, well, it'll give me like energy to work out. I didn't fucking work out. I was like
Mm-mm.
couch potato. I was like, I'm tired. Screw this.
Dude, bagel bites though are so good. I love
Bagel
bagel
bites.
bites.
I mean, come on. They're like what? Like yay big? Come on.
Come on, it's like eating a whole freaking pizza. 20 is like a whole pizza, right? Come on.
Yeah, it's like
That's
those
fine.
mini Oreos. It's like, how bad is this? It's bite size.
Can't be that bad.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that somebody shares the hunger thing with testosterone. It's a real struggle. Can't lie.
it is though. I can't satisfy my hunger.
That's it. That is it. Even if I'm craving something that I eat, I'm still not satisfied. That's definitely my problem. So I just keep eating. First world problems, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about because when we were DMing, you said something really cool. I just asked you to tell me about yourself and stuff, and you said that you think that being trans is a gift,
Mhm,
and that really stuck out to me because I think that's really cool. And you even said yourself it's not something that you think a lot of other trans people think, I guess.
mhm,
Like, not a lot of other trans people see it as a gift. A lot of people see it as a curse.
mhm.
Even I saw it as a curse for a long time. But I wanted to ask you why you thought being trans is a gift. What put you in that mindset?
Well, because it's two sides of society that not everybody gets to experience. Like, I grew up presenting as female, and now I present as male, obviously, because I am.
Hmm.
But it gives you a lot of empathy and this unique outlook in society that, you know, society doesn't have to be this way. Like it gives you a different version of, yeah, the negatives for sure. Like probably more than there should be,
Hmm.
but it gives, for me personally, it gives me like motive to change how society should function. And a gift in a way, like in a relationship, like when my girlfriend's complaining, well, not complaining, but like, saying like cramps, period, whatever this, and I go, yeah, like I can relate and like
Hmm.
validate her in a way,
Yeah.
is beautiful. And
Right.
I've heard like other trans men say that like it's difficult for them to cry since
Hmm.
starting T.
Right.
And like I was like, oh, that's weird. And then like I had a moment where I wanted to cry and I couldn't cry. I was like, why? And I was getting
Hmm.
pissed off. I was like, I just really want to cry. Like, why can't I just cry?
It is frustrating. I haven't had a good cry in a long time.
Yeah, and I used to like have my moments of like by myself in the shower. I would just cry and I just feel so much better after. Like it's just like my moment, like
Just a
raw,
little me
vulnerable
time.
me, just therapy session, like scolding hot water, just crying, being like, why? Why? It's just sobbing, ugly cry, and then you get out and like nothing happened. Like you're just like, oh, I'm fine now.
You forget all about it.
Yeah, just like, yeah, I'll go bowling. Why not? But
Uh,
now, like, I look for those sessions and I just like, I can't cry. I just stare at the wall in the shower, and I'm just like,
yep.
is this is what men do? That like just
Hmm.
stare. Like,
That's why they punch walls.
I did that before, like testosterone. Like, I was an angry kid
He's
for,
like, fuck gender
rightfully
norms.
so. But
Fuck this wall.
yeah. um, but yeah. Anyways, like, it's such a beautiful perspective because like you have two sides, like,
Hmm.
and you can be validated and you can validate other people.
Right. 100%. I think I talked about this a little bit on my Patreon a while ago. um, I, I guess in my opinion, I always thought because it stuck out to me when you said that because that's something that I've always thought. I always thought that being trans was a gift rather than a curse. And maybe a little bit of that comes from an insecurity. Maybe I am kind of like, I don't want this to be a curse. I want to choose the fact that it makes me happy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I really do think that it's a gift because the sense of pride I get alone, I think, beats anything in my opinion. Like
Mhm.
every time I get a hate comment, every time I feel dysphoric, every time the number of things that we all feel, I remember the shit that I had to do to get here. Like starting testosterone, changing your name, getting top surgery, coming out to literally everybody you know. I fucking dare. I dare somebody to fucking do it. Like it's not something that everybody can do. And I
Oh.
think to be able to look in the mirror and be like, shit, I did all that. That's where I'm like, that is my favorite fucking part about being trans. My favorite part.
Oh yeah, it gives you so much. Like
Hmm.
it's such a like beautiful experience. Yes, it's very difficult and it takes a lot out of you, but like when you can sit there and be like, look how far you've come. Like that's like like
Hmm.
I'm hot shit. Like fuck
Yeah.
with me. Like
100%. 100%. And also, it's like, I think too, belonging to a community plays a huge part in it as well. Like, I don't know, just belonging somewhere gives you a sense of pride. Or it's like I have millions of people standing behind me who come from the same struggles, the same shit I've been through. And I don't know, to feel prideful together also makes me very happy.
oh, definitely. Like I think I told you when we were DMing, I always felt like the black sheep in my family. I never, and actually anywhere. I never felt like I fit in, and to be part of a community where I don't even feel like I have to try, it's just because that's who I am,
Mm-hmm. 100%.
is awesome. Like,
Yeah. I think um I think in my depressed era and in the early stages of my transition, I was definitely looking at it like it was a curse that I couldn't control or change. And I don't know. I think also when you change your mindset, and I think it's something not everybody feels. I know there's personally for me, I no longer wish I was born cis. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I do. But for the most part now, I would so much rather be trans, be who I am, who I've always been.
Mm,
It sucks that I have this body that I don't necessarily love all the time, but I'd rather not have the body that I want than be born a cis male who isn't so self-aware, isn't doesn't have a community behind him, doesn't know how to treat women with respect,
mhm.
who can't share all of those experiences with women and like sympathize with them. I would so much rather be this than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I don't hate being trans. I just hate how other people make me hate it sometimes.
Mm, that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
I just don't like how some people. I think the number one thing that I find really disrespectful is it's mostly from people who think being trans is a choice. Is like their opinion. Like our rights are opinion to people, and I think that is so inhumane that they don't even think of us as people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because that's not fair. Like if I didn't say anything about being trans, they probably wouldn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny because before I started transitioning, I looked really white. I looked like a white suburban like girl. I always got like Italian or Brazilian or whatever, but like I'm half Mexican,
Mhm.
and I never got that. And there was one situation where I worked with this guy, and like he wasn't from the South, but you know what I'm getting at. Like he had like some attitude of like white superior. It's like okay,
Mm.
and he would just start talking mad shit about Hispanics, and he had no idea that I was Hispanic. And when I dropped
Mhm.
that on him, the look on his face, like he was white before, but he got whiter. But
Dude, people talk a lot of shit, and then all of a sudden, when you come out and say, "Hey, I know somebody like this," or "I am that," things change.
yeah, that too. Like you don't have to be that person that they're talking shit about. If you just know someone,
Right.
it hurts. So
Right. I think we all just get written off as a mental illness too, which is my entire comment section on Instagram at the moment is that I'm just a
really,
mental illness. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, as you said, it's disgusting how our opinions are, or our human rights are up to opinions, I guess.
yeah, especially politically, like,
Yeah.
and how they're just using that as like just like a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And on top of it all, I still think being trans is a gift because I have to deal with that and I still wake up every day. You try, buddy, but you can't.
Yeah, like I I really didn't. I don't really get a lot of hate, but when I do, it's more or less like I really don't care what you have to say. Bye. Like,
Yeah, honestly. And like, I should do that, but like, I do be replying to some of these people on Instagram. I just can't help myself. I
oh
just
no,
can't.
I would too. I'd be like, I'd probably say something that's like not appropriate, but
Violating community guidelines for sure. um, but yeah, I think it took me a long time to realize that it was a gift and that, you know, it actually reminds me when I was in the very, very, very early stages of my transition, I was young, definitely immature, definitely thought like a child. I think I had to look at being trans as being a superhero in order to be okay with it. In order for me to not be transphobic against myself, I had to be like, no, I'm this. Other people can't do this. I'm a superhero kind of thing. And I think that's what got me through it in the early stages, which is, I think, is kind of wholesome of myself. But
No, it definitely is, dude, for sure. Absolutely. I just
and
go ahead. No, totally go
I
ahead.
just think it comes with time, is all I was gonna say. I think that anybody in the early stages of their transition won't see it as a gift. Everybody will see it as a curse, especially if they can't medically transition yet and stuff. It's a very easy thing for me to say when I've already gone through all most of the steps. But I do want to tell people, especially people who are early in their transition, that it comes with time. You learn to realize what you can and cannot control,
Yep.
and you take the things that you can control and you ride it on out because you
Oh,
realize not much else you can do.
for sure. I didn't always think it was a gift. Like, let me make that like a fact. In the beginning, I absolutely hated everything all the time. Like, it just felt like one thing after another that I have to deal with, like, add it to the list. But
Mhm.
then, like anything in life, though, you slowly cross things off. You slowly see the progress. Like, if you really want it and then you finally start to see it, it's like unbelievable euphoria.
Mhm.
And it's really great being patient. And I'm not patient at all. Like, I'm patient with like certain things, but like this situation,
Mhm.
no. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
But I would say about like 6 months in, I'd be like, oh my God, this is really beautiful. Like, this is such a beautiful experience that not everybody gets to go through. And I think in like some cultures, they also think it's beautiful.
Hmm. I
So
don't know what cultures, but I
I, I
wish I
think
was a
it's
part of that
native.
culture.
I think it was like
Okay,
Native
that's
Americans.
cool.
I think that's like two spirited,
Right, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
which I vibe with like a lot. I think Native Americans have it to a T how the world
Mhm.
spins.
I second that, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, I just remembered that for this topic, I have my college essay that I wrote when I was 17. And I wanted to read it a little bit because for this topic, I think it ties in a little bit because this essay is so dramatic. This is pre T Cody. This is pre name change Cody. I forgot that I did this. It is, please. I don't, I just read the first line and now I don't know if I want to read it. Oh God. It's, it's really, really dramatic, but it shows that I was looking at it as a curse. But then towards the end, I'm like, it's a curse, but it's also a gift at the same time. And I didn't even realize that's what I was saying at the time. Um, it's not that long. I could read the whole thing, but please. The first line. Okay, my English teacher told me that the first line needed to be very grabby so that the college. I didn't even go to college, guys. This didn't even work. Just saying. But never used to this. But it's the best thing I've ever written. Also, my sister helped me out immensely to write this, so most credit goes to her. But the first line goes, "Oh Jesus Christ! I killed her on January 14th, 2016. Oh my God. I couldn't love her like everybody told me I should have. I needed someone better. Someone who was confident in their own skin. Someone not so broken, not so sad. I needed him, and when I thought about him, I felt complete. It was like every question I had ever asked myself had finally been answered. But if I wanted him, she needed to go. Once I found the courage to let everyone know it was him that I wanted, I killed her. It was the best decision I ever made. This is what it's like to be transgender." That's the intro. What was I on, bro?
Yo, I just murdered her. Like,
Like, what? Like, are you good? Like, my God. And then the second paragraph is like just explaining what transgender is because obviously nobody fucking knows.
Mhm.
I forgot about that actually. January 14th, 2016 is when I came out as trans. Now y'all know the date. I didn't even know the date. I'll read it. Fuck it. I am transgender, female to male, which means I was born female but now identify as male. Although becoming transgender was the best choice I have made, I have faced many obstacles in the process. For example, my mother, my role model, and the person I look up to the most, doesn't fully support me as much as she should. She does now, though. I love you, Mom. Sorry. Because of this, my relationship with her has taken its toll. Even though this situation has been very hard to deal with, I am quickly learning that I do not need anyone's support as long as I know who I am and that I'm happy with it. Luckily, I have been surrounded by many supportive people, including my friends and other family members. Many would say that they did not think they would have come so far without their loved ones. This is not how I feel. Damn. Although my friends and family have helped me tremendously, I am the reason that I'm as happy as I am right now. I have dealt with many struggles that I had to overcome in order to get where I am today. I said, I only need me. Since I am transgender, I do experience gender dysphoria on occasion. Gender dysphoria is a condition of feeling one's emotional and psychological identity as male or female to be opposite of one's biological sex. Look at me teaching everybody. I feel this way because the gender that I am in my mind does not match my body's gender, therefore resulting in confusion and frustration towards my own body. I am aware that dysphoria will always be a struggle for me. Surprisingly, I'm not scared because I know that I have what it takes to make myself happy and I don't have to depend on anyone else to make me feel better. Another struggle I have to deal with on a daily basis is others calling me the wrong pronouns. My pronouns are he, him, but not everyone remembers to refer to me as male. This is my biggest struggle because it's a constant reminder that I was born in the wrong body. I handle the problem by calmly and politely telling the person that I prefer he, him pronouns. That's a fucking lie. I lied straight through my teeth. I never corrected anybody. I was always too scared. I would let them just misgender me and I would just sit there and be miserable about it. Even though these struggles cause me great pain, I do not let them interfere with who I am. I remain the happiest person I can possibly be. Jesus Christ. Besides my overall confidence and contentment, being transgender is the hardest part of my life. One of the worst things about it is that nobody told me I was going to be a boy one day. Nobody said to me this was going to hurt. In fact, being transgender came out of left field for me. Luckily, I'm young enough and am still young enough to continue exploring myself comfortably. Although it hurt and still does, I'm grateful to be this way. It gave me a sense of reality and a new perspective. That's how it ties into this topic. I was never ignorant prior to my transition, but I was uneducated, and I'm grateful to be so knowledgeable on topics of the LGBT community and gender expression because now it helps me help others. Being transgender, I've made several transgender friends. Also, a fucking lie. This is a straight up lie. I didn't know a single trans person. Who I never would have been able to help without my own personal experience. I didn't help anybody. When they're feeling dysphoric, I understand. When they wake up in the morning prouder than ever, I understand. When they go to bed at night wishing none of this had ever happened, I understand that too. I feel emotions I never would have dreamed of feeling. I see myself in ways I never would have seen myself. Although being transgender taught me how to have an open mind and being understanding to everyone, the most important thing it taught me was how to go through some unbearable nights and still wake up prouder and happier than ever. And this is the last paragraph. Here's where we get real dramatic. From the beginning of my transition up until now, I feel mostly proud. Being transgender was like putting myself under a spotlight and having nothing to say or do. Everyone was just watching me flounder and struggle to stay afloat. Nobody helped me but myself on this journey. I couldn't just run off stage and turn back. I had to grit my teeth and bear it until I found a way not to sink. I learned to find pride in myself even on my lowest days. I learned that nobody could tear me down but myself. So I had to stop critiquing and start encouraging. I learned that sometimes hell isn't just a fiery inferno. It's your own room at midnight while you're staring at the mirror trying to find a way to just turn everything off. Overall, these obstacles have shaped me into the person I am proud to be, and I will never regret who I've become since January 14th, 2016.
Man,
Wow.
you laid it on thick.
I did. I
Yeah.
said, boom, boom. I low key forgot about all of that. That was pretty wild.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. My sister, I remember the more I read that, the more I could remember. I went to my sister and I was like, this is how I feel. Make me sound smart. And that's kind of what she did. So I owe a lot of that to her. But all of that to not go to college.
Not bad, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. I completely forgot about that. I should have read that on this podcast a while ago. But I think it tied in well to what we were talking about today.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I mean,
100%.
at such a young age, though, like I think that's what's
Mm-hmm.
forgotten too. That like we forget young kids feel this way at such a young age,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking that like it's just a phase or it's like something they'll get over, or like there's a cure is it's just not realistic. Like
Right.
people feel the way they feel, and maybe if you just took the time to listen, you'd understand instead of
Yeah.
like right off the bat just being like, no, I don't want to hear it because it's wrong. It's like,
Right.
well, you don't know it's wrong if you never even opened your ears to it.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, like, I was a kid. I was 17. I was sitting in my English class, terrified to have my English teacher read that because he was like a fucking 40-year-old white guy who favored, yeah, who favored all the cis guys who played sports.
Yeah, of
That's who
course.
my English teacher was. So I was terrified to have him read that. And he also, throughout this entire fucking thing, if you can see it, he was marking it up. All the
Oh yeah.
places I fucked up, like just marking the shit out of it. And I'm like pouring my heart and soul. And he's like, proper grammar. Like, what the fuck? And then he just writes so powerful at the end. Like, okay, bud, that's all you had to say? Thanks. I don't even think he graded it.
Sounds hard, but you'll be okay.
Yeah, right. Dead ass. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much sums up that topic for me. Like, I being trans clearly fucking sucks ass, but it also has its pros. And that's what makes it a gift at the end of the day, because you get a sense of pride and you can tell the world who you are and hopefully help a couple people along the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I've always wanted to do that. Oh yeah. I did before we go. I did wanted to talk about. We talked about it a little bit before. Um, you said that you were about a month ago. I guess I think you said coming into a place where you were like, "What am I doing with my life?" and how you
Mm,
wanted to be more of a voice for the trans community or just the LGBT community in general.
mhm.
And we talked about how being in your 20s is like the hardest fucking part of life, I think,
Oh yeah.
because so many people put so much pressure on you to know exactly what you want to do with your life. And I think pressure gets put on you to just find something and make money doing it, whether you love it or not. And I fucking hate that. I fucking hate it to my core. And I struggled a lot until a year ago, exactly when I decided to start this podcast. I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I was broke. I refused to work an office job or any job in general. I was like, I cannot bring myself to go to work anymore. I hate it. I'm miserable. I'm depressed. Nothing, like, I don't have a passion. And I always hated myself for not having a passion because everybody else does. Everybody that I'm fucking surrounded by has a passion, and I didn't have one. And my little fucking rant there. I just think the fact that you know, and it sounds like it's a recent thing that you've just
Mhm.
figured out that you want to help the community in any way, shape, or form is really cool. And I want to talk a little bit more about how you figure that out, I guess, and what you
Mhm.
want to do with that.
Yeah. Well, I highly agree that like basically after you graduate high school, you're expected to just know what you want to do and who you want to be and
Hmm.
how to get there. And I had no idea at all. I went to college. I didn't even want to go to college. I actually wanted to be a Marine. I wanted to be
Oh
in
shit.
the military. Yeah, I come from a military family, and a lot of the reason why I am not a Marine is because I was super uncomfortable with my body, and I didn't know how to fit into it, and it
Mm,
really held me back. And I've just felt so held back for so many years, and so coming out last year, or you know, a little over a year, has opened my eyes to so much. It feels like I can do whatever I want to do now. And being trans comes with a lot of confidence when you see yourself doing the stuff that you want to do. Like
mm-hmm,
just being trans, like getting to this point, be like, I did that. Like I advocated for myself, like with some help, obviously, but like I wanted this, so I went for it. Like I want top surgery, so I made those phone calls. I advocated to like do what I had to do to reach like whatever check marks they wanted so I could get that consultation. And
mm-hmm,
like I'm such a humble person. Growing up, I was humbled probably way too much that I didn't have to be because I didn't get any confidence a lot growing up. And this has given me so much confidence. And I've always been so empathic to other people. And like I said, being in the state of Massachusetts, I'm so blessed to have these opportunities and not feel like I'm so challenged to get my rights taken away. And, every time I have that shot, I guess it's a little less anxiety ridden because I can have that shot and I should take that shot because not
mm-hmm,
everybody can have that. And it's always been such a struggle for me to figure out what I want to do, how I want to do it, like where's my place in this world. And like, cause I'm a mechanic right now and I don't find any of that fulfilling at all.
mm-hmm,
And I just like helping people. And yeah, like a month ago, I've just had this like, not breakdown, but like I just sat there because I got frustrated at work and I was like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? Like,
mm-hmm.
why am I settling for something less than I'm better at? Like,
Right.
I deserve so much better in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said,
100%.
being trans has given me that confidence of like, I don't have to settle for a life that I don't deserve. Like, I'm not going to just suppress who I am because I just fit in better. Like, that's not how anyone should live their life. And I feel like the best way to show people that is if I advocate and I go out there and I help people reach that point in their life where they're like, okay, I can do this. Like I've always had this in me and like now it's just time to just show the world that. And like being who you are is absolutely beautiful. Like this world doesn't need like salt and pepper. It needs like flavor. Like there's so many spices in the world. Why season it with just like basic, I mean, like steak is dope with salt and pepper, but like if you put some spice on there, like now it just got better. Like, what is the problem with
Slay.
spicing things up?
That's
S-
amazing. I love that.
Yeah. So, yeah, at the age of basically 28, I finally figured out that like I really want to advocate in this community and do something with it, and just figure. I mean, I haven't figured out exactly what yet. Like again, this is just like a month ago, but I've been a lot more active in the community for sure. Like I signed up for an LGBTQIA plus support group online through Charlie Health. Um,
Mm,
I've tried to go to events like the Human Rights Campaign. They hold events in Boston and online virtual events too. Like I'm just trying to get involved in any way possible. I mean, if anybody want to hits me up, like I'll totally try to help out. Like that's fine.
for
Um,
sure. That's awesome,
But
man.
like, because I reached out to you because I saw your podcast on TikTok and I was like, this is dope. Like, wow. And I was like, I'm, I'm gonna hit them up, see if like they respond, and like you did, and I had like this like freak out at work. I was like, yes, and then people looked at me, and I was like, sorry.
That's so awesome. I appreciate it, dude. I'm really glad that you reached out. Honestly, this is a great episode. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so I think like what I'm getting at is that you know that's part of why being trans is a gift because it gives you like yeah just so much. Like it opens
Yeah.
your eyes that like you can do anything you really want. Like
Hmm. And it bleeds into other aspects of life. I think I agree 100% on that. Where you're like, it gives you confidence in other areas of your life. Like, it's taught me more than just being who I want to be in my own skin and proving transphobic people wrong. It's taught me to ways to carry myself in a fucking job interview. Like, it's taught me the little things and the big things. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
think that's important.
it definitely taught me how to like stand up for myself more because I would always I used to people please as much as possible just because I was like craving that acceptance.
Right. Me too.
And now it's like no, don't treat me like that. Like
Hmm. Yeah. I used to be a little snowflake in high school. I couldn't stand up for myself. I couldn't do anything. And now, like, I'm ripping transphobic people apart on the internet every day.
as you should because screw them. Like what's
Yeah, period. Do
yeah,
you think that you want to be a face on social media for the trans community?
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you can deal with the hate that comes with that?
Honestly, I don't think I could deal with myself not even trying to put myself out there to help other people. Like I feel like
That's
that
cool.
would make me crumble more inside that like I feel like I can do this and not doing it would make me crumble. Because like
Mm,
yeah, sure, like other people are going to have any public figure is going to have hate regardless.
mm,
Doesn't
right.
matter. So, I'm fully aware that that's going to happen and
Hmm.
I am not super strong inside internally. I'm still a little fragile, but I rather put myself out there for a good cause, what I fully believe, than like not do it at all and
Hmm.
have people like have those people not even have the chance to tell me I'm wrong. They just like they basically for me they won if I don't even try.
Mm. That's a really solid point, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, I like that because that's exactly how I feel. It's how I felt going into this podcast, and like even seeing the hate that I was getting from just ignorant fucks on the internet. I'm not one who really gives a shit though. Like I just laugh at it and then make fun of them on my podcast. Like it's a win-win for me. Like by commenting, you're just giving me content, so like it's a win-win for me. But I do it doesn't affect me as much as I think it affects other people. But I
Mhm.
will say that I do understand it more. Like, cause I guess before I started the podcast, I was always like watching Dylan Mulvaney or other content creators, like being so hurt by it. I wasn't ignorant to it. Like I understood, but sometimes I would be like, oh, but you have so much love in your comment section. Like pay attention to that. Like
Mhm.
just focus on the love that you're getting because like look what you're doing for the community. And like now I do understand that like I'll get 20 comments saying how inspiring I am and how this is a great thing that I'm doing. And then I get like two hate comments telling me that I have a mental illness and that I deserve to die. And those are the ones that I end up responding to. And I sit with myself and I'm like, why did I do that? Why do I feel like I need to fucking prove myself to people like that? I understand it more. So I'm trying to not do it as much.
Yeah, for sure. No, I get that like I've heard that like example where like you could have like 100 comments of like they're positive, but it's just that one negative one that really gets to you.
Hmm.
So I totally understand that. But like the ones that like tell you to like you shouldn't be around, like you should die. Like I'm gonna get really serious. Like I struggled with that. Like I didn't think I should have been around. Like I wanted to die. Like I've been admitted to the hospital. I admitted myself to the hospital. So like now that I want to be alive, like every day I strive to exist. Like I find life livable
Hmm.
is so important. So, you
Yeah.
know, it is like, yeah, like, yeah, tell me I want to die, like, fuck off. Like, I've been there, like, I got over that. I love myself, like, go away.
Uh, you think they learn though? Like,
No,
I don't know.
there's,
What if I did want to die, bro? That's murder. Fuck you.
yeah, it's true. Like, the people that even, like, say that, though, is like, come on. Like, that's a human being. Like,
Hmm.
it just goes to show you in that one sentence their whole personality.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And like, it also with the mental illness thing, because that's mostly what my comments are about, is that being trans is a mental illness, and that instead of being on hormones, I should be in a mental institution getting help. I think that is, I don't know. eh, Clearly, you're confused about mental illness and you don't see mental illness as a real problem either.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many problems, so many misconceptions and judgments that you have in your mind that just don't make sense. And you're confused. And that's
Well,
all
they
I got.
thought, like, PMSing was like a mental illness back then. Like,
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's a fat fact. That
yeah.
is a fat fact. I forgot that I have proof. I have proof. I will show you. I got. Oh, I had a. What was this episode about? Oh, I think it was a TikTok that I made about what to do if your partner leaves you for being trans when you come out as being trans. And I just gave my 2 cents on it and how like that sucks and that it's just a mean thing to just up and leave somebody for being trans without even giving the littlest amount of support.
Oh yeah.
And I still said that preferences are okay and that it's not transphobic if you don't want to be with somebody who's trans. It's just there's better ways to go about it than just upping and leaving. That's pretty much all I said. And I got a comment. Let me see. Wait, I got two comments on that one, I think. First one said, "Bro, you literally changing genders. What the F you mean? If my partner said that I'm leaving, no doubt in my mind, literally not the same person." And this person has a, a check mark next to the name, a blue check. So I clicked on them. They had like maybe like 50,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then their pictures had like 200 likes. And so I commented back and I said, "How much did all those followers cost you?" And he got so mad. Like, that's all I do. I just sit on Instagram and make these people mad for no reason. And then, honestly, he hit me with a good one after. I can't lie. He said, he said, "Less than your failed transition surgery."
Wow. What?
I honestly laughed my ass off at that one.
Oh my god.
I said, "Shit, maybe you got me." No, I commented back and I was like, "Look, that's really fucking funny, but it also makes no sense. So it's clear that you're ignorant as fuck,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still funny, still funny." I round of
Yeah.
applause for that one. I can't even lie.
Jeez.
And then I got another one saying on that same video, "If I have a girlfriend and she decides to change genders, I'd leave her immediately without any farther explanation. She would probably unalive herself in 10 years. Why would I want a trans friend? They're annoying as fuck."
Oh
To-
my god.
I know, like, you have fucking problems.
I feel like honestly that's just projecting. Like I feel like he's venting.
Yeah, right.
I don't think that has anything to do with like if his girlfriend like changes. I feel like that's
Mhm,
just something
mhm,
internally that he's struggling
mhm.
with and he's just like Really laying it on.
To which I responded, hence why you don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he didn't answer. It's like you set it up so easily for me. Come on. And then this is the last one. This guy has commented on a couple of my fucking videos. He just won't stop.
Nice.
I gotta block him, but he goes, I don't even remember what this video is about, but it honestly doesn't even matter. He goes, this clearly illustrates an issue trans folks never seem to get. You can live your life however you want, but you have no right to demand that others buy into it. To which I said, no one is demanding anything, and there's nothing to buy into. It's called treating others with kindness and respect, which clearly you are incapable of. So what are you doing here? Do you have nothing better to do? Are you this insecure or lonely? Poor guy. They always get really mad at me when I like sympathize with them. I'm like, "Oh, you okay?" They get really mad at that. So then I just stop answering and let them have a little hissy fit in my comment section.
Oh my god.
But yeah, sometimes I just like to read those hate comments just to show everybody that people really have nothing better to do than because like all these fucking accounts are most of the time like troll accounts. Like that's what they made the account for
Yeah, yeah.
because they
Like
have
they
nothing better to do.
no, they don't. Like they're literally taking the time to do this. Like
Yep.
that alone is like sad. Like come on, buddy. Like
Like what a sad life you're living. And then TikTok, I'll usually make, me reading those hate comments on these episodes, I usually make it or I have Max make it into clips and TikTok takes it down as if I'm the bully. Cause I'm like, I'm defending myself and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't win. It's fucked up, man.
it's stuck.
Yep. Absolutely fucked. All right. What time we got? Oh, wow. An hour and 48 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. Before we go, I wanted to do the trans song of the week. I've decided that from now on, for the trans song of the week, I am asking my guests what they want to be the trans song of the week because I want to know what has like helped you or any other guest through their transition, what meant something to you. And your trans song of the week, drum roll please, was Love Me More by Sam Smith.
Oh yeah.
Boy, you sent me this. I said, period. Period. I love Sam Smith. Um, tell me about that song. What do you like about it?
Well, I mean, like if you just listen to it and like you consider like a trans person, that alone, like it just word by word, lyric by lyric is it's just so beautifully done. Absolutely. And I didn't find the song, it's found me. And as soon as I heard it, I
Period.
was like it hit me. I was like, wow. Like
Period. And it's not, I listened to it. It's very good. It's not a song that was written, I don't think, for like, obviously, I think songs are always written so that anybody can relate to them, but it
mhm.
wasn't like intended for like a specific trans person to relate to it, but it just so happens that it does. You know what I mean? I have lyrics here that I wrote down that I liked from the song. I
Mhm.
think it's in like the first verse. They go, "It used to burn every insult, every word, but it helped me learn self worth. I had to earn, so I tried every night to sit with sorrow, and eventually it set me free."
Yeah. It
Like,
I'm
damn,
not like great with words, but I love music. So where I fail with words, music really helps me out. And this song like really helped me out to try to like put in perspective like my feelings.
hmm
So,
that's what I love about music, man. That's what I love. And honestly, that thing that I just read, those lyrics,
mhm.
I didn't even realize how well they played into like being trans as a gift
Yeah.
kind of topic. Like it used to burn every insult, every word, but it helped me learn. Like, damn,
Yeah.
damn. That hit me right in my heart. I love
It
that.
just
Thank you for
hits
sharing that
different, bro.
song.
Yeah. I saw Sam actually in concert a little over a month ago, and that was like the best concert I've ever saw.
A lot of people have been seeing Sam Smith recently.
So good.
Popping off. Popping off. I love it. And a lot of people are like, I think their pronouns are they, them, right? Sam
Mhm.
Smith. Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying that they're a devil worshiper now because of that one song. And I'm like, guys, stop. It's just music. Can we relax?
Yeah. Stop thinking like way too into it.
Yeah, just relax. But Torryn, I want to know your socials so people can follow you.
Yeah. So it's Torryn Taylor, TorrynTaylor, at just at Torryn Taylor. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I'll probably be on more. Uh, that's it. If you want to hit me up, go for it. I will help you in or I'll help you in any way possible I can if you're part of the community.
Nice.
So
We'll have your socials up a couple times throughout the episode too. So if people want to follow you and reach out, they can.
yeah,
And make sure you follow me at HRT Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I post on there every single day. Make sure you also Torrent, if you want to join the Discord server, you should. And everybody else, join the fucking Discord server. The link will be in the description below. We're having a lot of fun. I'm gonna host some game nights and some movie nights soon, and it's just a bunch of trans people having a good fucking time, and everyone's becoming friends, and it's just so great to see. And you should join. And if you haven't joined yet, just join. But if you want to join my Patreon, it's only $5 a month. You can yell at me and tell me the content you actually want to see. You can. I've been posting a lot of game clips on there. I've been playing some games with my friends, and I've just been posting it right to Patreon. And I think that's fun. So come see that. And you get a lot of stuff that I don't talk about here. I leave things specifically for Patreon. So if you're interested in that, please join. I would appreciate you so much. Also, in the description below will be the Charlie Health thing you were talking about. That'll also be in the description below. But make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. A lot of you are viewing these videos and you're not subscribing. It is one button. I know you are capable of doing it. I would appreciate it. And Torryn, thank you so much for being on today. This was a great episode, and I appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Cody. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I drop videos every Tuesday, so I will see you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.